If you're in Osaka right now and you just can't stop sneezing, then you are in exactly the right place. This is your personal action plan for getting through the 2026 hay fever season. So, are you nodding your head to any of these? Yeah, I thought so. You are absolutely not alone. These are the classic calling cards of hay fever, and they are hitting Osaka, well, pretty hard right now. And look, it is so easy to just brush this off as, another spring cold. But there is a very good chance you're actually dealing with something way more widespread, what's often called Japan's national affliction. Okay, let's really dive into this. We're going to figure out exactly what's causing all this misery so you can finally start fighting the right enemy. This chart just puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? I mean, look at these numbers. Sneezing is up there at 90%, runny nose at 85%. What you're feeling isn't unique, it's part of a massive shared experience. Now, this slide is where it gets really interesting, because it draws a super clear line in the sand. Check out itchy eyes, a massive 80% chance with hay fever versus what, only 5% with a cold? But you know what the real giveaway is? A cold is usually gone in about a week. Hay fever, oh, that sticks around for weeks. So, if a virus isn't what's knocking you out, then what is this invisible force causing all this chaos? Well, let's meet the culprits. Think of this as your seasonal battle calendar. It maps out the two main attackers, cedar, which is sugi, and cypress, or hinoki. And that red line shows exactly where we are right now, early March, smack in the middle of the peak of the first, and honestly most intense assault from cedar pollen. And here they are, the bad guys themselves. These are actual microscopic images of the pollen grains waging war on the city. These tiny, tiny particles are the reason you feel so lousy. So what's actually going on inside your body? Well, it's basically a case of mistaken identity. Your immune system, your body's security force, is incorrectly flagging this totally harmless pollen as a major threat and, well, it's launching an all-out war against it. And this is the four-step chain reaction that sets it all off. The pollen gets in, your internal alarms go off, special cells get activated, and then, bam, they release a flood of chemicals like histamine, which is what causes all that inflammation and all those symptoms you're feeling. So you might be thinking, why does it feel so bad this year? Okay, let's zoom out from our own bodies for a second and look at the bigger environmental picture that's affecting the entire Osaka region. Listen, it is not just in your head. It really is getting worse. This graph shows the cedar pollen count in Osaka for the past 10 years. And that dotted line, well, it tells a pretty clear story. It's a steady, upward trend. So here's the absolute kicker. The forecast for this year, for 2026, is predicting a pollen count that's a full 18% higher than last year. That is a huge jump, and it explains exactly why this season feels so brutal. You should think of this heat map as your daily attack schedule. The darker the red, the worse the pollen. And if you look right at that blue box for today, March 6th, yep, we're in for extreme levels, especially during two peak times, mid-morning and then again in the evening. So how did we even get here? Well, this isn't just some freak of nature. It's actually a direct result of forestry policies from decades ago. These trees were planted to help rebuild the country. And now, all these years later, they've basically matured into massive pollen factories. All right, we know the enemy, we know the battlefield, so now let's get to the most important part, your precise, actionable plan to fight back and actually get some relief. Okay, your first line of defense is just simple physics. Block the pollen from ever getting to you in the first place. These are easy but incredibly effective barriers. Masks and goggles are non-negotiable. And choosing smooth clothing, that just means less pollen can hitch a ride home with you. Now, when prevention isn't quite enough, medication is your next step. This chart breaks down some common options. The tall green bars, that's how effective the drug is. The small red bars, that's how drowsy it makes you. And if you look all the way to the left, you see Belano. It's got a super high effectiveness score of 92, but its drowsiness score is incredibly low, just 5. That's why it's such a popular choice. The big takeaway here is to use the right tool for the job. If it's the sneezing and the runny nose that are driving you crazy, a second-generation antihistamine is your best bet. But if you're dealing with that stubborn, blocked-up feeling, a steroid nasal spray is going to be way more effective. Okay, let's pull all of this together. Here is a nice, clear timeline so you know exactly what you should be doing today and what you need to brace for in the coming weeks. This timeline lays it all out, and as you can see, we are right here. We are at the absolute peak of the cedar pollen storm. This is the most intense it's going to get, which means you need to take action now. And get ready, because that second wave of cypress pollen, it's just around the corner. So there you have it. You know the enemy, you have the timeline, and you've got the tools to fight back. If you combine that prevention with the right medication, you really can take back your spring. This battle is absolutely winnable. So, what's your first step going to be?